The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another killer episode of Still Toking with. Yeah, you know who I am, so I don't need to say any more about that. But as always, joining us, let's see, we're gonna call him the man with the sparkles tonight.
Tonight.
Every
other night.
Well, usually you're the man with the flash or the flashy. Yeah, I'm all screwed up because StreamYard's doing some wonky shit and it's aggravating me. So,
yeah, I guess.
But Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here with you and our other co-host, Jeff. And our guest tonight is one of my favorite actors and one of my favorite friends. So I'm ready to have a ball.
Oh, are you?
Or, whatever happens.
Ah, okie dokie. So hold on. I'm like stuck in something here. Ah, let me out.
And I love a parade.
It literally has me stuck off the screen.
Yeah, it didn't go live on the page either.
Yeah, it's got me stuck off the screen. So just keep talking amongst yourselves.
Be smart, it's too close for comfort. Behave, my heart. He's too close for comfort. Be wise, be smart. Behave.
There he is.
There we go. And there's Jeff.
Hey, I'm still trying to find the video to share it.
Yeah, it's not there
Why?
because
Because is that because of that friggin'
yeah. I'll fix it in a minute.
Yeah, no worries. What's happening? Today's Wednesday, right?
All day.
I think so. I
March
think so.
12th, right?
Must be a full moon or some crazy crap going on out there because it's nothing streaming tonight wants to work or cooperate, which is fine because I don't really care. I do,
It's
but
a little weird. Well, when they go and change shit without letting people know that they're changing shit, it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to do shit.
Right.
Can I write that down?
You can.
Thank you.
You can.
We get 25%.
Hey, listen, you guys, Jeff and Ben, you guys did a con this weekend. How did that go?
Oh, cons are always fun. They're always fun.
Yeah, we had a good time
doing the
actually.
cons, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm dealing with the con crud at this point, but that's okay.
Right.
You know,
So
I'll get over it.
We do have a guest tonight. Right now, he is trying to get to a safe spot so that he can join us without injuring himself or somebody else. But
he's that guy that was in that thing, right?
Yeah, he was in that thing, and I think he did that stuff
with that other guy who was with that chick.
Right. He's that guy.
They were doing other stuff. So are your cameras still fucking with you?
No, I'm good. I can switch screens right now.
Oh.
So if you want to introduce him, I'll bring up all four. He can still continue to get to his location, and then we'll all be on the screen, and we can just kind of wait and chat about the con and stuff like that. So,
all right, cool. So let's welcome that guy that was in that thing, Mr. Rico Anderson.
Hey guys,
how you doing? Make sure you pay attention to the road.
Yeah, no, I'm multitasking, but you know, road is the most important right now because obviously you don't want to crash. Plus, it's rush hour and it's nuts. I gotta say though, a couple of things in all that introduction. You got to be careful when you say the guy who's doing that stuff because you know it's Hollywood and you know.
Oh, you weren't doing that stuff. You're doing the other stuff.
Yeah, you know. Because right now your viewers are like, "Oh, I didn't know Rico did that stuff."
Oh, he does that stuff, huh?
No, but he's real good at doing the other stuff. Let me tell you.
Yeah, the things and stuff. And I gotta say, as janky as the intro may have been with the signal and all, that abstract, crazy intro actually works with whatever may have been janky because that was a great intro. I love the it just seemed very retro and it just had this had a coolness to it. So
well, thank you.
Ben and Jeff are two cool cats. Let me tell you.
Oh, I wouldn't.
You all signed up for the cool train clearly and stayed there. So honored to be here.
You know,
and thanks for bearing with me here as I get to a spot. I was just coming out of an audition, and thank God this particular audition did not go long. Because sometimes commercial auditions can kind of lag, and before you know it, you're there 45 minutes past what your call time was or your audition was. Yeah, you just get a little nuts.
So to tell an insider story, Rico, we've been telling people for quite a while now that most auditions happen over the internet, just like what we're doing here. You do it at home, you do it in front of a green screen, and you've got all your stuff. How often these days are you going to auditions in person?
So that's a great question in this day and age, and to answer that, I will say this: it's starting to open up a little more, and I say that very, very, with a grain of salt. Commercially, it's happening more commercially where there are in-person auditions. There are still self-tape auditions for commercials that are happening, but I would say there are a lot of in-person commercial auditions. Once upon a time, it was, but after lockdown ended, it was just self-tape commercial auditions and in-person callbacks. Now it's opened up more with in person and both audition and callbacks. Theatrically for film and TV, it's still mostly self tapes. And I say this, and I was actually pretty surprised, but last week I had an audition for a new show that's coming out, and that was in person. And that was a shocker because one of the other things that they're doing now is when you get the audition, they're giving the option of either doing the self tape, and in some cases you could either do a self tape or you could do like what's called an eco cast, which is basically like a Zoom audition, which would
Right.
kind of be like along the lines of what we're doing.
Mhm.
But this particular, and usually those, for at least for myself, those have been the only two options, and not always with every audition. Some auditions just straight up self tape, but some have been self tape or eco cast. But this particular audition that I went on gave the option of going in person, and so I jumped on that because I want to get back to the days of in person auditions with the option of having a self tape option, because it is a convenience, especially if you're out of town or for whatever reason.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you which way you prefer it.
Yeah, it I like the self tape option. If I would just rather get out of it's only self tapes. I feel like at this point there should be more of a balance of it, and I think we're gonna slowly get there as far as like having more options, which I'm happy about. At least hopefully that's the case.
I mean, the
How do you
camera
think-
loves you. You know that about yourself. But what a camera can't do is you are so incredibly charismatic in person. And I don't know if that always comes through it, but also you're very tall. I mean, when we take pictures together, it looks like you're this much taller than I am. And I don't know, would that come through as well on video?
You're just a hobbit, dude.
Did you call me a hobbit?
No,
No,
Jeffrey's
he's
a
calling
hobbit.
me a hobbit.
Oh, okay. I was like, I am not a hobbit.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He-
That's
Well, but I'm 5'7". There's a big gap.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So wait, what was the question?
Did you find your parking spot? Looks like you're
I-
close.
I did. I'm actually about to park this beast and head upstairs and find a place to plug in, and it'll be better. Thanks for your patience, folks.
Oh, no
You're
worries.
worth the waiting for. You're worth the waiting for.
Yeah, we're almost there. But please ask questions. Ask away.
For those who don't understand, like, okay, Rico Anderson is a television star and he does films. Why does he have to audition? Is a question I get from people. You mean you still have to audition for things? So
yeah.
would you please answer the reality in show business?
Sure. I think auditioning never stops. It comes in all forms. It comes in the traditional form of I get my sides, I learn my lines, or I get familiar with the part, and I go in or audition or self-tape, and I give them what I got, and it's literally that. There is no secret sauce to it. Just be familiar with your work and be ready to go and be ready for adjustments.
Now, have you ever gotten a call that you just automatically get the part because they want you?
Yeah,
Without an audition.
I've gotten basically offers, direct offers, things like that, which is nice. I don't get them all the time. A lot of us don't. We can option. I don't want to audition. I just want a direct offer. If you like me, you know how to reach me. There are those options. Gets a little tricky there because some people might think, who's this guy think he is, or
right. I call that cutting your balls off to spite your face.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it. But it's just, like with a lot of A-listers, they're not going to audition. But then you have others who are also up there in the stratosphere, which maybe they're not the Denzels or the Al Pacinos or the, you know, the super A-listers where all they have to say is we have a new project out. Who can we get to be in this? Let's get Pacino. Let's get De Niro. Let's get Denzel. Let's get, you know, Angela Bassett, whoever. Those are usually going to be the direct offers just because
Right.
of who they are, their name.
And I'm sure that a lot of that depends on their budget too.
Their budget also, yeah, because their budget could be, I will, you got to pay me this if you want my, you know, my acting services, or because I understand the nature of how big the part is or the role or the film, I may go down in my price as far as like how much I would ask. If it's a $20 million Michael Bay, $50 million Michael Bay film, you could probably get more money. But if it's an independent film that just does not have that type of budget, you option for getting less with the understanding that this is what they got.
Okay.
We are just coming out of Black History Month. Through now March is Women's History Month.
Yes.
Is there or were there more than one African American female performers who influenced you or you like were inspired by?
I mean, I'm always inspired by those who came before me. Nichelle Nichols was a huge inspiration for me just because well, I'm a big Trekkie. I love Star Trek. But also
Well,
I have the opportunity. Yeah,
you're part of the universe.
I am part of the universe, which I'm tickled pink to be a part of it because I've always loved that franchise and I always wanted to be a part of that franchise as a whole. I had the opportunity to meet Nichelle Nichols at a party and talk to her. And I even told myself, I am not going to nerd out in terms of I'm not going to start asking Star Trek questions. And I didn't until she started talking about it. And next thing I know, that was me saying, all right, she opened up those floodgates. We're going to talk Star Trek. And it was great. And she just, you know, she spoke about her conversation with Dr. Martin Luther King. She spoke briefly about just her time in the industry and just stuff like that. And it was just a wonderful experience just to get to know her. When I was signing at various Comic-Cons, sometimes she was my table neighbor. I interviewed her a couple of times, which was really wonderful. I can have that bragging right. And yeah, so Nichelle Nichols, Dorothy Dandridge has always been a wonderful.
Why isn't Dorothy Dandridge better remembered today? Because she broke so many barriers in film.
Sure.
What's your opinion, sir?
I feel like a big part of it comes from the fact that Hollywood picks and chooses who they want to elevate in a way that is going to give them that legendary status. Back in the golden age of Hollywood, you didn't have a lot of performers of color coming onto the scene representing in ways that showed life as we know it, people as we know it. In many cases, when we did see somebody Black or somebody Asian, you saw a lot of them in stereotypical roles. And even if you didn't see someone who was Black, Asian, Latino, and the roles weren't stereotyped, there were very few and far between. And it just kind of put Black people of color in general on the back burner when it came to, you know, if I were to ask any three of you, the golden age of Hollywood, give me three names. Marilyn Monroe would be one of the first people to come up. Probably Fred Astaire and I don't know, pick somebody, Humphrey Bogart or someone. And, you know, respectively, they're all wonderful artists and legendary and deservingly so. But when you think of the golden age of Hollywood, there were so many unsung people who didn't get their opportunity, who didn't have the platform or the opportunity to shine like their white counterparts have been, have
Look,
been given, I should say.
look at people like the Nicholas brothers. Now, when people talk about dancing on film, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire.
Sure.
Ask Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, they say the Nicholas brothers.
Yes, yes. I actually remember there was an event in which I cannot remember for the life of me, where I had the opportunity to meet Gene Kelly's wife, and I had an opportunity to just meet her and talk with her, and I actually did ask her about that because I was always curious as to what Gene's thoughts were on the fact that you had all these wonderful dancers, but the majority of them were white, and you have the Nicholas brothers who were up there, but they just weren't given that spotlight that they so amazingly well deserved. I mean, when you watch that dance scene in stormy weather, they're supernatural. They're dancing like no other. And it's just like, how does that not get a legendary status? How does that not get put into the category of what and who you think of when you think of classic Hollywood, legendary Hollywood, old Hollywood? And they are famous and people do know of them. But it's not the same. It's not the same. And
When did that start to change?
there's always, I mean, even it slowly has changed. Even when you can go down the list of different shows from different eras, and you'll see Black people and Asians in positive roles. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I'm saying you just don't see a lot of it. You didn't really see a lot of it like you see other ethnicities, mainly white, like actors and actresses. You don't see that. You saw things gradually happening. You saw representation being out there in terms of various shows, but a lot of them didn't get the publicity as well. I know in the 80s things started to change a lot. The 90s was a really big hub for a lot of the shows that were being produced and cast and put out there. It's a slow climb. It has gotten better. I can't say that it's completely eradicated as far as like, it's there's still a lot of work to be done.
Always will be, I'm sure.
Do you think,
Which is unfortunate.
would you think, sir, that Sidney Poitier was the first male African American who was allowed to be intelligent and sexy and break some of the barriers? It seems like when he started making films in the mid and late 50s, it was the beginning of change. And then it took an awful lot longer for African American females to start breaking through.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Poitier was definitely one of the ones who showed the grace, the
elegance,
the style, the elegance, did things that were a shock to the audience, where it was clearly a shock to the people he was working with. The one famous scene where he gets slapped and then he slaps the guy back
in the heat of the night.
In the heat of the night. That could, depending on where you are, that could get you killed. That could get you lynched. That could get you thrown in jail. Doesn't matter that the other guy struck first, which would be considered battery. Doesn't matter. The fact that he struck back, was the issue. Yeah, I would say Sidney Poitier is definitely the one of the templates. But when you look at old movies and TV shows, look at the ones who weren't as famous, who weren't in the spotlight, the ones who played a lot of the minor roles. Maybe they were butlers, maybe they were maids, maybe they had dignified roles like Mr. Poitier, but they only came on and then they left. You
Or
could watch,
someone like Eddie Rochester Anderson, who could do anything and was
yeah,
wonderful in everything. But if we remember him at all, it's only from playing Jack Benny's butler.
right. Now, it's interesting you mentioned Rochester. One of the things that I loved about him was his part really lent toward him being able to not so much be a stereotype, but also he also got the jokes. He was also able to, like, stick it to Jack Benny.
Oh yeah,
Or,
Rochester didn't take any shit from Jack Benny.
exactly. And it was great to see. There was still mutual respect and all that kind of stuff, and it was all comedy and everything. But and every now and then, obviously, because he's the butler, because he is being employed by him, you would hear him say yes, sir, and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it was definitely a change when it came to what the character could have been at that time. And I love the fact that he was very much on equal ground with the other characters
Absolutely.
in terms of who he was and stuff like that. You can look at episodes of Star Trek, the original series, and you'll see black people sprinkled throughout, aside Nichelle Nichols, and they may have small roles here and there, but they're admirals, they're commodores, they're one of the guys, I can't remember his name. He off the top of my head, he played Richard Daystrom. What's his name? He also played Blackula.
Oh. Shoot. I know who you
Wonderful
mean.
actor, great voice, just very powerful
Wonderful
presence,
voice.
like Paul
Powerful.
Robeson. And then there's Paul Robeson. Um, uh, oh, y'all know who I'm talking about, though.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So Mr. Poitier definitely was in the spotlight as far as that representation. But when you look at those old movies, look at the people who supported, who were more the supporting players. They're there. They're the unsung ones. And they're the ones who I feel like deserve even more, not more, but credit, just like Mr. Poitier, because of the fact that they were there, they played those parts, and they were a great representation of a part of Hollywood at the time. They're part of almost like a secret portion of Hollywood, because they're there and then they're not. But they made the rounds like a lot of character actors.
So that would have been William Marshall.
William Marshall, thank you. Yeah,
You Googled that. Yeah.
You're damn right I did. I'm not gonna lie and say I knew that, because that movie came out the year I was born.
yeah,
I think it was 1972.
yeah. It's very interesting to look at old films, and obviously for the nostalgia and seeing just how things were back in the day, how people lived, things in their apartments, stuff like that.
There were some all African American films made, mostly by MGM, that were made for an African American audience. When you were a kid growing up, did you see these films and say, "Oh, I can relate to that"?
You want to get that?
No, I don't. I turn my phone.
Doorbell.
Don't want to get that at all. I'm talking to you.
Put them on speaker. They know they're not supposed to call around this time. I did, and I tell you, even at a young age, I always wondered, why are we just bunched in this one particular genre? Why aren't we more branched out? Why aren't we more amongst the Marylands and the Bogarts and the Edward G. Robinsons and just all the legends of that time? Why weren't we more eye to eye? Why weren't we more co-starring with? Why didn't we have more of that? you know, you have Harry Belafonte, who was right up there with Sidney Poitier, and you know, along with his activism, he was a brilliant actor and, of course, brilliant singer. Um, but even he, with all of his brilliance, did not get fully the accolades that he should have gotten. The publicity,
Yeah.
the
I mean, you're
fame.
starting to see a little bit of that in the last 10 years, I would say, with guys like Denzel Washington and
Sure.
I'm drawing blanks now.
That's because you
But
have a
there's
fever.
yeah, I do.
Real quick,
Lawrence Fishburne and those
you're
actors.
You're still sitting in your car.
I am. I need to take my butt upstairs because I'm
I
at
was going to
25%
say,
on my phone.
I was going to say, you're
Yeah.
in California. You're probably sweating to death in that car.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good, guys. No, I mean, listen, those guys. You're gonna have the Denzels and the Lawrence Fishburnes and you know all those characters who definitely represent. You know, Michael B. Jordan today is one of the top actors who's up there in the spotlight.
But
Reggae Jean Page from
I hear from younger African American actors. Oh, Rico Anderson was someone who inspired me when I saw him up there. So, you know, it's every generation gives on to the next.
Yeah, especially since he was in Star Trek. I mean, you know.
Oh man. See, now you guys are all nerding out about Star Trek. I'm going to nerd out about SWAT.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, you know, I guess I'm aging myself here, but I remember the original SWAT.
Oh, I do. But
you want to talk about a little black boy who was just like, yeah, I love this show, you know, cops and robbers and and running around and playing and all the cool gadgets. There were super cops to me. And it was just so cool to see. I lived for that hour that they were on.
Right.
And to be a part of the new universe of that, it's so cool. It's just it's a nice piece of full circleness that
not just to be a part of the new universe, but you were the young Hondo. So I mean, that's spotlight. That's, you know, boom, right there. That wasn't like, hey, he's off in the cage over there cleaning weapons. I mean, you know, you got to portray Hondo.
Badass.
So for people who don't know, I played on the show, I played Shamora Moore's father in flashback scenes where Oba Babatunde, Emmy Award winning Oba Babatunde, brilliant actor, singer,
brilliant.
Yes, he plays Shamora Moore's father present day. And it's funny because I'm a lot taller than Oba, and I've known him for years even before this. So when I got this role, it was cool because I didn't have his information as far as contacting him, but I happened to see him at an event not long after I shot that episode, and I had a chance to talk to him. And I'm just like, I don't know if you've seen any of the episodes that we've done. Well, at the time I had only done one. I said, but I am you in the past. And he said something back to me along the lines of, no, brother, you are you, but you are playing a completely different person, but we're both representing and we're playing.
Great way to put it.
Yeah. Right. And you know, he's just a plethora of wisdom. So
next time you see him, ask him about working with Liza Minnelli, because that's where I first met him many years ago.
Oh wow! Okay. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm stepping out now. That's the thing. He's worked with so many, and you know, he's got stories on top of stories. It's just great being a part of that, and being able to say that I'm part of something that that I grew up idolizing, just like Star Trek. And the part that I play is a very very important character. One of the episodes that I shot was supposed to be the season 3 finale, and COVID hit.
Yeah.
And the lockdown happened. And before I knew it, everything shut down. The governor had declared a state of emergency and everything shut down. And so we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to end up, we didn't know what the world was going to be like. But one of the questions was, what are we going to do with this episode? Because the nature of the episode itself was dealing with police violence.
Yep.
It was dealing with the aftermath of the Rodney King verdict, the feelings that were incited as a result, the action taken, and just humanity just losing it all over.
Right.
How do you deal with that in this world? And then the pandemic hit, and then lockdown hit. And before you know it, Breonna Taylor was murdered. George Floyd was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have the situation that has us in 2020 in the same position, damn near, that we were in the 90s.
Right.
My first question was this. Are the writers going to do something about that in terms of incorporating that to the script? It would be a missed opportunity if they didn't. When I got the call that S.W.A.T was coming back into production after things were starting to open up again, they sent me the new script. And I looked it over, and the first thing I noticed was, God damn, they did it. They actually took the information, just not information, but what was going on, and they tweaked it, incorporated it, and it was amazing. It was such a great episode, and it really was a wonderful example of saying that, hey, things have changed, but a lot of things have stayed the same. Look at what happened back then. Look at what's happening today.
Right.
And we still have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of that is acknowledging who we are as humans, where we stand, what our differences are, but also respecting and listening to people when they say stuff. Not dismissing it just because it's not something that you have never experienced.
Right.
Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that somebody's whining. It doesn't mean that somebody's just complaining. It doesn't mean that somebody's using the race card. It doesn't mean that somebody is just being whatever it is you think they're being because you personally have not experienced it.
All right.
Listen and respect what people are saying. People aren't just saying these things for a reason.
Right.
Millions of Black people aren't saying that police brutality happens a lot. In the case of George Floyd, they just got that shit on tape. It happens so much where it's not on tape.
Yeah.
Murders, cover-ups, beatings, just bad stuff. There's good stuff, but a lot of bad stuff that happens. And yeah, it was one of those opportunities that S.W.A.T really rose to the occasion on, and knocked it out the park. And I was so honored to be a part of it because I remember the Rodney King. I remember what happened back then. I remember where I was. I remember my feelings. And going back to that and just being on the set where they recreated, 92 or 94? I think it was 92. Just recreating that era, just down to like a TV store where there's just, like TVs in the window and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And even what we wore and stuff like that. It was very eye-opening, but very cool just because of, we're going, we're in the Wayback Machine and we're going back to 92 and we're about to see what happened here. A lot of people ain't gonna know what that Wayback reference is.
Yeah, I do. I know what that is.
I know you guys know.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'd be surprised at what of a lot of our viewers and listeners know.
Oh, I'm sure.
Even the younger ones, because we push shows like this all the time,
Yeah.
you know, and education is huge. So I hope people get something out of the show, educational.
Right. And I did want to make a comment on the what you were just talking about. I think that as a society, lack of respect is extremely dangerous.
Mm.
It's very dangerous,
Yeah.
and we've got to get respect back. We really do, for everybody and everything.
Right.
I wanted to get that out there because it's dangerous. I see it.
Oh yeah.
Rico, other than being this magnificent actor and my buddy, I also call you an activist. You cannot talk for all African Americans or all males or all anything, but I know you post a lot of stuff without getting deep into politics, because our show doesn't do religion and politics. But where do you feel we need to be changing things to make things better for everybody?
Right.
Where does it start? What can one individual do?
Educate yourself. Education is everything.
Mhm.
Listen, if you say something that I feel is racist, I'm not going to automatically, well, depending on what it is, I'm not going to automatically just be, fuck you, you're a racist. We can cuss here, right?
Yes.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Fuck
I'm
you.
not, okay. Fuck yeah. All right. I'm not going to automatically, depending on the situation, I'm not going to automatically just say, fuck you, you're a racist piece of shit. Although I have said that online to many people who deserved it. But what I'm going to do is hope that you take opportunities to educate yourself. We may not all get it. I think it's safe to assume that we've all said something that was ignorant, maybe a little racist, that hopefully it wasn't deliberate, but it was just something that maybe we didn't realize was racist or just offensive or whatever. I feel like this. Racism to me is based on ignorance and stupidity.
Not just that, but at home, what they learn. Because I'm 53. I'm going to be 53 years old this year, and I was brought up in a house where your skin color did not matter at all. You could have been African American, Chinese, it didn't matter. If you were a good person, you were a good person.
Right.
If you weren't, then you weren't.
Right.
So even nowadays, when I hear something racist, I'd be the first one to turn and go, exactly what you said. You're a racist piece of shit. And I don't care what color they are when they said it. Because I was just brought up, so I think if more people taught their children that doesn't matter, I think that would help a lot in the education and breaking a cycle. Agree?
Well,
Disagree?
sure. No, I agree with that. I do feel like, though, race should be an important thing to discuss and learn about. And race should matter in the sense that I am Black and there's nothing that is going to change that, and nor would I want it to. You know, I have a right to celebrate any way I want that should not have any effect on you in a way where you feel like you would have the audacity to speak out against it. Black History Month is a very interesting month that brings out the weird ones where they feel like they can say stupid things. See, this is where stupidity comes in, where they can say stupid stuff like, well, when are we going to get a White History Month? Or why Black History Month is just racist because it's race baiting and it's doing all these things. And I'm like, how is my celebration offending you? How is my celebration of my culture making you feel like you have to speak out against it in the way that you're speaking out. Why don't you say what you really feel? Because right now I feel like you're hiding it by saying these stupid things. Why isn't there a White History Month? Let's not even go into that because we already know the answer. You know, it's like stop with the stuff that keeps being regurgitated. Race matters in the sense that um yeah, it shouldn't matter who you are if you are a good person,
Right.
but I feel like that person, if that person is Asian, hey, it's not that we have to speak about his or her heritage, but if it's brought up, it shouldn't be an issue. If
Right.
it's, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If it's something
Mhm.
that um if it's something that's thrown out there, why is this a problem? Why is it a problem? And this is the other thing. Apparently, Morgan Freeman said something about how he feels like there shouldn't be a Black History Month. Okay. Morgan Freeman does not speak for all African Americans. He does not speak for all Black people in the world. With respect to Morgan Freeman and his view on that, I feel like, first of all, Black History Month, Black history is American history, is world history, is
Yep.
everyday history.
Yep.
I was
The
going to bring
reason,
that up. When
yeah,
you and I, when they did the Black History Month thing at the Hollywood Museum and walking the red carpet, like, why are you here? Which is a strange question to ask anybody anyway. Why are you here? I'm walking the red carpet. I was invited. Because Black history is American history, and Black history is show business history.
Yep.
Take African Americans out of show business, and good heavens, you're left with a lot of boring shit. So much of
You're
what
right.
we
Right,
do is influenced by the
right.
African American creative forces in our business. And I'm a jazz singer. There wouldn't be jazz otherwise. Um, Look at what I'm wearing. This is not European. This is African. The sparkle and the flair, the dancing, popular music since it became popular music, always influenced by African American creative people. That's why I'm here to celebrate, because this stuff makes me personally happy. And I'm happy. I'm sorry how African Americans were brought here, but I'm deliriously happy that they are here to share their wonderful stuff with me in my
Right,
life.
right.
My
You
life is
know,
better off for it.
I want to throw something out there since we're on this subject too. I think that part of the problem is the way that, and I'm gonna, I'll just use media in general. I mean, I watch the news, and when somebody does an armed robbery and somebody gets arrested, they never say a white guy got arrested. They say a black man got arrested. Okay. And they do that on a regular basis.
Yes.
Black man arrested for this, black man arrested for that. You never hear a Chinese man was arrested. You never hear a white guy was arrested. They just say a man was arrested. Why do they have to use that color card
well,
in the news?
also in adding on to that, you will have a thing where if there's a tragedy that happened in a town or whatnot, and you see people coming out of a store with stuff. Um, Usually with black people, they're looting, but with white people, they're trying to salvage something for their family. It's and that goes towards like media perception
The
and how
spin they put on it.
Right, right, right. And I think that's partly why racism still exists, because they put it in your face all the time. It's
well, I
almost
also
as if they
sure.
want it to be there for
I,
whatever reason. I can't figure it out.
well, going back to why I feel like racism is based on ignorance and stupidity. I feel like if there's something that you are unaware of, I will want to educate you But if I educate you and you still feel like you want to believe the other thing when I'm literally telling you something that I personally may know because I've experienced it, or let's just say I just studied it, but you still decide you want to think the other thing, well, guess what? You're being stupid. And guess what? You deserve everything that's coming towards you because you were making a conscious choice to not open yourself up to learning stuff, which is one of the things that I've always said about 2020. It was a great learning opportunity. Even online, when people want to say what they feel empowered to say because either their racism has been enhanced through certain forces that make it seem comfortable to be that way, or if they're hiding behind burner accounts where they can just let their racist flag fly.
Keyboard warriors.
Some
Keyboard
people are
warriors.
just assholes. There's nothing you can do about it.
But see, that's part of what I'm getting to. There are people who people want to be confrontational and say, well, explain why this and that. And a big part of me feels like I can have a discussion with you, I can talk to you about things, I can educate you, but I shouldn't have to justify. First of all, I feel like in this day and age there's too much information out there for you not to do your own research. Educate yourself. Don't I don't feel like I should have to justify my existence because you want to be confrontational, when all you have to do is look and read a book, read up on stuff, educate yourself. The information is out there. Is everything true on the internet? No. But you can, if you got even half the brain that the extinct dodo bird had, you would still be able to piece out what's real and what's not. If you decide that's not going to be you, then you're stupid. You are stupid. You're a dumb piece of shit. In this day and age, that makes you a lot of different things. A white supremacist Nazi supporter. It makes you a lot of shit. It makes you a lot of things.
Yep.
And I feel like just educate yourself, people. Same with me. I have to educate myself on matters of other races. If you're LGBTQ, if you are a woman, I need to educate myself. And if somebody is wanting to tell me what's going on or correct me on something, I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to listen. And I'm going to respect you enough to give you those moments to educate me. Please educate me. And
There's that
encourage
word again.
people to do it.
Respect.
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 Yeah.
You don't have to agree with everything, but you must have respect.
But I even feel like even in that case, you don't have to, but you really do yourself a disservice if if you deciding you don't want to agree comes from the fact that you have either a cult mentality, I think people know what I'm talking about, or you have this thing about you that just won't accept that you were wrong. You were wrong.
Yep.
And there's a lot of them out there.
I can't imagine how hurtful it must be. I was in the company of a very large television star just a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, who in my company referred to those fucking kikes. And obviously this person did not know that I'm Jewish, so he felt comfortable saying it. Yeah. Well, I cut all ties to that first person. I didn't get in their face. I didn't correct them. I just, okay, we're done. Thank you. Leave price on nails on your way out. Thanks for playing the game. I can understand. Yeah. I'm not different in public than I am in private. Or in private, I say this. No, I'm Jeff. I'm Jeff wherever I go. And I have just zero tolerance for any of that bullshit. Now, it's not the same as being African American, but gay and Jewish, I've gotten a lot of shit in my life for being different. I can appreciate, if not totally understand, what African Americans can go through, because I've had the Klan call me and threaten me. I've had police beat me just because they thought I was gay.
Yeah.
I'm a smart man. I'm an educated man. Hopefully I'm a nice man. I can't wrap my mind around hatred, wholesale hatred. You dislike a person, go ahead and dislike them. If someone's an asshole, walk away. But wholesale hatred, it's insane. It is a form of insanity to me.
Some
Which is
people
why
just
I
hate
love
everything.
It's
nuts.
why I love hearing Rico talk on the subject.
You can
Because-
hear the passion in his voice.
Yes, I
You
love
know,
the passion.
That's why I haven't interjected. Usually, we do all the Q&A stuff and bring up but I didn't interject once this evening because of the passion. That's a message right there. So when people listen to this later, hopefully they'll wake up. Hopefully they'll educate themselves.
And just one other thing in terms of what you said, hopefully they wake up. Be woke.
Yes.
It's not a bad thing. It's not the twisted definition that has been thrown out there. It's
Right.
actually a beautiful thing because it literally is you being aware and educated, and it gives you a better understanding. And that's literally it. It's
Right.
nothing else. And it doesn't just pertain to Black people. It pertains to anybody who just, if you don't know, then now you do. Stay woke, stay educated, stay informed, stay alerted, stay ahead of what may be trying to twist your mind into thinking otherwise, gaslighting you into thinking otherwise. Just educate yourself. Education is a beautiful thing. You never stop learning.
Nope.
So educate yourself.
It's like, you're tall, you're short, you're fat, you're gay, you're Black, you're this, you're that. It's everywhere, and it could be disgusting, to be honest with you. And like you said, it's education. I do my best not to have any issues with people unless you're a fucking dick.
There's a lot of them out there too.
And there's a lot of them out there that just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Who just said hi? Who was that?
Basic.
From YouTube. So what happened at the beginning of the show is we streamed to 30 plus platforms simultaneously worldwide with the show.
Cool.
And something changed in one of the back ends that kicked two of my main pages out of StreamYard, and I couldn't get them linked back in. That's why you saw me for like the first 10 minutes. I was kind of just, it just wouldn't let me get linked in. So what I did is I grabbed a different page link and stuck it on the back end so people could hopefully jump in and join in the conversation, or at least watch.
Yeah,
or at least watch. I mean, but 90% of the people.
Technology is wonderful.
Hey, it happens.
Yep.
Rico, I find you a fascinating person. I love having dinner with you. I love just sitting across a table, eating good food, and hearing how your mind works. Makes me happy. And our radio project needs to happen. Rico and I have got an idea. Well, it's Rico's idea, but we're gonna be doing something special. Shh. Be very, very
I heard you signed an NDA already, so shh.
Snipers are on the roof. Yeah.
Rico,
Yeah.
Plugorama. What is coming out or is out, or where will people be able to enjoy your incredible talent?
Well, first of all, Jeff, that project is going to happen. It is going to happen. We will talk. We will make that a reality.
Yes, sir.
Just to acknowledge that. So, this industry is going through some crazy growing pains right now, and it's so all over the place. But one of the great things about this industry is it's never just limited to one particular thing. This is the only industry where you could literally put all your eggs in one basket, and they're all different eggs, just because the entertainment industry is acting, directing, writing, voiceover. Voiceover alone is animation, announcements,
Yep.
audio books, just so many different things. So there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things that are happening when you're not just trying to audition for the next on-camera role. So one of the things that's happening that I'm very honored to be a part of, there's a new show on Amazon Prime that's coming out called Countdown, which was created by Derek Haas, and who was also a part of the FBI franchise, FBI International. And also he was in charge of the Chicago franchise, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Met. He's left all of that. Now he's partnered up with Amazon for a new series called Countdown. And I'm working with Derek Haas for the second time on the show. So I'm very excited about that. My first time working with Derek was on FBI, in an episode of FBI International, which I flew to Budapest for. So I'm working on that. I also have a couple of other projects that I can't speak on. That's in the works. That I'm really, really excited about. And I'm working on some voiceover stuff as well.
Nice.
And I heard you guys mentioning Comic-Cons earlier in the show. I toured to various Comic-Cons as well, got my signing table, my whole setup and all that kind of stuff. So I have some Comic-Con appearances coming up. One of them is WonderCon in Anaheim, California, which is going to be coming up. I'll be there all weekend, signing table, 2 panels. I'll be at Wonderfest in Kentucky, which can't remember the dates, but people could go to I think it's wonderfest.com or .org. Check it out. If you're on Facebook, check out Wonderfest. You'll be able to find the dates there. I'll be there along with Robin Curtis from who played Saavik on Star Trek. She'll be there. Frank Dietz from a plethora of films, as well as a film that he wrote that I actually met him on called I Hate Kids. That's happening. And there's a couple of other cons as well. Rocketown Comic Con in Lompoc, California. And gosh, there's another one. Oh, the Hollywood Show, which I'll be a part of in late September.
What the fuck? Those are all out there. When are you going to come out to the East Coast?
Well,
that's a damn good question.
See?
As soon as we can connect him with one of the promoters out here that we know.
Right.
Listen, please let me know. You know, one of the I want to tour more outside of California, and obviously I'm going to Kentucky for Wonderfest, but I would love to come to the East Coast more. I did Diversity and Inclusion Con last year in Philly, but I've never done any con in New York or DC or anywhere out there. I'd love to be out there, though. I'd love to be.
I think you'd be a great fit for the Vermont Sci-Fi Fantasy / Horror Expo.
Oh, when is that?
That is April 25, 26, and 27, or 26 and 27.
Okay.
26, 27. Yeah. I think he's full this year for talent, but when we go up, we can talk to him.
Yeah, usually closer to the date, they're usually pretty full, especially when it comes to bringing people in from across the.
Oh yeah, but you could be somebody that we mentioned to him for potential for next year.
For next year, well, listen, I would appreciate that for sure. I would love to. I'd love to get out there more, definitely. For that.
Well, I'd just like to meet you in person because Jeffrey Mark says you buy dinner.
I did not.
What?
Oh wait, no wait. You like to go out to dinner? Oh, that's what it was. My bad.
Hey, you guys get me in that con, I'll buy dinner. There you go. Dinner's on.
Nice.
That was great.
So yeah, and listen, I'm saying all this and I could book something next week. So that's one of the great things about this industry is it's so unpredictable.
Right.
So many, you just never know. You just got to be flexible and just be ready. And hopefully you're in a position where you can have those opportunities and take those opportunities. I'm blessed enough where I have that flexibility. Not a lot of people do, life and jobs and family and or family commitments and just just so many different things. But I've been blessed to be able to have that open option to do some really cool things. Which again, this industry is so many different moving parts, and there's so many different versions of what is the entertainment industry, and touring to different cons and signing and meeting fans. And what's beautiful about Comic Cons is it's still sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all that, but it extends a lot into other genres, like cop shows and true
Pop
crime,
culture and
a lot of pop culture. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Pop culture, yeah. And so
even cartoons.
Well, yeah, no, definitely cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I think that's always been pretty high on the list, always. But the pop culture portion has really helped in terms of things that I've done, because I've done a lot of like I did FBI International, I did The Rookie, I did S.W.A.T. So it's not sci-fi, but it's a huge fan base and people love it.
Who did we just meet that was in Star Trek?
Oh, Alan Rook.
Alan Rook, yeah.
Okay. Captain Harriman from Star Trek Generations. Yeah. And also famously from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, or, in my case, Rabbit from Twister.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
But just for all our viewers and listeners, make sure you check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, because all of Rico's information is in there. So if you're interested in seeing him at a convention or want to get him to a convention, it's all right there for you.
Pitch me.
I did.
Thank you.
Nobody went. Come on.
Well, swing, hopefully no miss. So.
Right. So we are coming up on time. So I want to wrap up. So you were gracious enough to jump on in your car coming from an audition to spend time with us this evening. I don't want to keep you too long. So
much appreciated. That'll bring you good luck, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Well, this day and age,
not that you need it, but
until they see this show. And they go, man, he swears a lot.
Wait.
Well, you know what the Irish say? You know what the Irish say? Rubber redhead for good luck.
Oh, cheap is creep is.
Is that rub a or rubber?
No, rub a redhead. Like
or
you rub red hair for good luck.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a rubber redhead. Okay.
No, it wasn't. Right. It wasn't salacious. It wasn't sexy. I was offering him good luck being a redhead.
I was
all right, Mr. I'm in a cell down there.
This is how rumors get started, guys. This is how
it is.
Jeffrey said what? Jeffrey,
Rico, I don't think anyone is ever going to make that rumor about you. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's about you.
That's not a rumor. Come on.
All right.
I have a question, Rico. I have a last question for you.
Yeah.
So you're this big, tall, muscular, handsome, macho actor guy. Yeah. Made my day. And has there ever been a part you wanted where they said, "Oh no, you're too big and handsome and macho we need someone who can play the wimp, who can play the nerd." Have you ever lost out because you're so physically imposing?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the compliment. The muscular, handsome, hot, gorgeous, drop dead, sexy. All right, I know I'm adding, but
no, I was thinking all those things. I just didn't want to embarrass you in public. I've said these things to him privately. I just didn't want to embarrass him in public.
My hair barely got through the door as I was walking in. So, oh boy. I remember at the beginning of my career, I was told that I would probably only ever get cast as the security guard, or the big jealous boyfriend, or the big thug, or the guy who would just be stereotyped and typecast into one particular role. And I've been wanting to act ever since I was 6. And I knew this when I was 6 that I wanted to do this. So I knew what type of parts I wanted to play. I knew the people that I saw that I was inspired by, that I really wanted to play roles like what they played. So when I hear stuff like that, and especially when I heard it from that person, and I've heard worse, I've heard people literally say, I don't think you have what it takes to cut it in this business. I had a best friend who said that, who is not my best friend anymore for that and reasons. But when I hear stuff like that, on the inside I laugh, but on the outside I just let them know I don't respectfully agree with you, because I know what I want to play, I know what I can play, and just because I have a bit of size to me doesn't mean that I can't play the things that I want to. I'm going to fight to play those roles, and it's not that I don't mind or have an issue playing the security guard, the big boyfriend. I played a lot of cops, like in my early career where I've had like 1 or 2 lines and something. I played a lot of cops. Grateful for the work, love the experience, would not change it for the world. But I knew eventually I needed to grow as an actor, and eventually I wanted to play the big roles. I wanted to play in the big pool with the big boys and girls. I wanted the meaty roles. I wanted the recurring roles, the guest star, the series regular. You make a transition from that into that. And sometimes, the auditions are slower. But I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Big part of me fighting had to do with the fact that I had people who felt like I couldn't play those roles. But one of the things as an actor is when you get a rep, when you get an agent, get one that gets you. Get one that is like, you've got what we're looking for. We're going to fight to get you in those doors. We're going to submit you for stuff. We're going to stand strong on things. Sometimes you have to bite the bullet and take certain roles, just to build your resume and things like that. Again, cop roles are things that a lot of actors end up playing a lot of, because it's just so many cop roles in different shows and stuff. Nothing
just
wrong
about every single show out there.
Yeah,
exactly. But you can only I feel like you can only play so many cops. If you're trying to grow in this business, you can only play so many cops at that level.
Right.
I'll play a cop and I'll be a series regular and play a cop. I don't mind. But I want to grow. And I don't want to do what somebody said.
I will plant a seed for you. Rico Anderson is one funny motherfucker, and he should be playing some comedy stuff. And Rico, this just hit me seriously.
Okay.
You and I in The Odd Couple together.
That would be a hilarious. That.
Think about it. Let's put that out in the universe, because that would be
a hell of a show.
It would
be
odd.
A hell of a show.
Okay.
Would never think to pair us. You know what I'm saying? And that would be a hell of a show. Now I've done comedy. I've been actually blessed to have done some really cool comedy that in a way where I personally even questioned whether or not it was something that I could do. But it was a challenge, and I love a challenge. When somebody says I can't play certain roles and I can only play those type of roles, a boyfriend, a security guard, to me that's a challenge. Right. Challenge accepted. Let's go, because I'm about to prove you wrong, and I'm about to even do more. You know that saying, I'm about to prove them wrong and take pictures or something like that. But
kick ass and take names.
I'm gonna do it and do it twice, huh?
Kick ass and take names.
Kick names and take ass. There you go.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. Hold my beer.
So Jeff.
Yeah. you know, you got the same attitude as like, you know, me and Ben and a lot of people that we know. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. That's up to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Tell me. Because guess what? Now you done messed around and unleashed the beast. I'm about to go out here and now I got to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
those who know Jeff and I know very well that that actually happened to us with a very, very huge TV show and writer for the TV show. And we battled that motherfucker for 2.5 years. Wow. They spent millions with their lawyers. We spent a lot of time. But being from the Boston area, don't tell me I can't do that. Kiss my ass. So, Jeff, last questions for our amazing guest.
I got one last question for you. What is the one place on the planet that you really need to visit? Africa. What part of Africa? Africa's a big place.
It is. I mean, I want to go to Egypt just because I've always loved, even as a kid, just Egypt. You know, I remember seeing the King Tut exhibit when I was a little boy. I grew up as a little boy in Chicago, and my great grandmother actually worked at the Field Museum where the King Tut exhibit was first touring, and I was able to see it, and it just blew me away. I've always been a lover of just that, and you know, I want to go to Egypt. I want to go to Ghana. I want to learn, you know, I haven't taken any DNA test yet, but once I do find out where my ancestors came from, I'd love to visit that wherever that is. I'd love to kiss the ground and say hello to where my ancestry started. So I would say Africa. I mean, there's a lot of places I want to go, but
that's like a 2-month trip.
Yeah, I probably have to do like Disneyland and come back and complete
Very good. I mean, Egypt's in my top 10, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, Egypt definitely.
But Ghana also. I really want to visit Ghana as well, and I want to go to France. I want to go to France also, and I want to go to Indonesia as well, and I know I want to go to. I've never been to London. Like I want to travel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Africa is definitely. I've been to the Caribbean. I'd like to go back.
Caribbean's nice.
Yeah.
So, nice.
Yeah.
That was not your normal question though. I was waiting for like a pizza question or an animal question. You went worldwide.
Pizza. What topping would you be?
I mix shit up.
Yeah. It only took you 6 seasons to start doing it and messing with me.
Keeps things fresh, guys.
That's right.
But on that note, folks, we are over time, so we do have to let Rico go because, you know, like I said, he was nice enough to jump on this interview from his car, coming from an audition for something we don't know. He won't tell us, but it's okay. He had to sign an NDA when he walked in the door.
So, I talk about snipers. They got snipers too.
Yeah, they do.
They got snipers on the snipers. So, and they totally are related. So there you go.
So
listen, being nice had nothing to do with it. I wanted to do this, and I was honored to be on, and I'm glad that we were able to work it out and make it happen. I wish my setup was a little different. I've been holding the phone up this whole time, but I'm glad we were able to work it out. Listen, I don't know if you invite guests back. I would love to come back. So
we do when they have something new to talk about.
Okay. Right. Well, hey, stay
when
tuned.
When you and I do the Odd Couple, we'll come back and do this.
Well, listen, I mean, if you actually if you do the radio show, then you can just have us on as guests, and we can do this again.
We could do a radio show, like an audio,
virtual.
A radio play version of The Odd Couple. I'm sure it exists. It's got to exist. I mean,
right?
I would think so.
Well,
there's a lot of things we can do. We'll talk.
We will talk because I love you. You're my dear friend of so many years. I'm so happy to be able to do this with you.
thank you for inviting me, and I'm really glad it worked out. I'm glad that nothing had to be canceled, and great combo.
Yay.
It's great talk. Great talk.
Yeah. So, Rico,
Yeah.
where do you like to interact with your fans on the social medias?
Sure. Instagram is I am Rico Anderson. I am Rico Anderson. You'll see a picture of me like this, looking up with my finger on me. And also I'm on Facebook, same thing. Just punch my name up. You can go to ricoanderson.com. And where else am I? Just Google me. You'll see me everywhere. Yeah.
Right?
He says, just Google me. You'll see me anywhere.
Google me. Yeah.
Oh,
But that's the main. Those are the main things. Follow me on Instagram, peeps. Follow me on Instagram.
Do that and do it now.
Do it now.
I just did.
Okay.
Put your kid down. Do it now.
Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Jeffrey Mark, Geoffrey Mark on Facebook, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz on Instagram, Jeffrey Mark on Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Jeffrey Mark. So wherever you find Jeffrey Mark, you're going to find me. And I always want to hear new ideas from the fans. So let us know what you'd like to see on Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella, my other show, or on this one, or anything else. Because without you, we don't get to do this. So as I always say on my end of things, God bless and have a happy.
Ooh, I think I just had a happy. Go to stilltoken.com. All our links for all our socials are there. Token with the Dead on Facebook. And be sure to check out the YouTube. Everything is archived on the YouTube channel. And the animation is now on YouTube. That went up, a week ago, I think?
Yep.
Yeah, about a week ago. So you can go check that out. Let us know what you think on that. Be sure to subscribe. Don't just go there and be a nobody that we don't know anything about. If you're going to watch the shit, at least fucking subscribe.
Support, people. Support.
That's right.
Comment.
See, Rico's got it.
Just comment.
And comment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let us know.
We like to hear the comments.
What I mean? If
one job.
If you think it's dumb as fuck, just say that, because we'd appreciate it.
Right?
So
again, we want to thank Rico for taking time out of his busy schedule to come up here and chat with us. Like I said, you never know where the show's going to go, folks. So, and Rico, just something I usually mention prior to the show is if you say something you shouldn't say, the agent's going to call you, not me. So.
I like it.
But make sure you check the show notes up above or down below. You can find out all you want to know about Rico, about us, about Jeffrey Mark. But take a gander at stilltoking.com. You'll find out everything from the novel to the comic book to the TV series to the animation to the show. They're all cataloged there. So with that being said, to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can actually come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.
peace.